Like, let this guy fucking do. Like, yeah, we definitely have to do the Snyder Cut episode that I have to be on. I'm sorry. I'm inviting myself to that. Just the last 10 minutes alone has me like coming in my pants. I'm sorry. Oh man.
Moving on.
And now it's time for the weekly recommendations.
All right, James, what did you watch since the last time that we talked?
Oh man, so I set aside 4 hours to obviously to watch what we've been talking about for the majority of the news. It seems like the Zack Snyder's Justice League. Definitely go watch it. For me, this felt like, I don't want to get too much into it just because I feel like we might possibly do an episode on it sometime in the future. But it felt like it didn't feel like 4 hours, that's for damn sure. Which is the amazing it's a huge plus for me. I sat through that and I was into the movie the whole entire time. If you love Zack Snyder's vision, which I do, definitely check this out. If you want to see the real version of the Justice League, what we didn't get to see, I feel ashamed for at one point enjoying the Justice League when it did come out.
Did we see that together?
You were thirsty. I'm not sure. Yeah, that's true. I was on the hype train. I was on the hype train. I was so excited. Just it was there. They gave me something, and I took what I got, and I liked it. I'm ashamed to admit it. But seeing this now, the Zack Snyder's version blows it away. I'm contemplating burning my Justice League Blu-ray that I have. It's the collector's edition too. From
mine's a digital copy. It's like herpes. It's never going away.
You can delete it, but it's still there. It's gonna
it's still there. It's gonna flare up.
You can restore those purchases. But yeah, that's my one and only rec. It's 4 hours long, so 3 hours and 52 minutes if you want to avoid the credits at the end. There's nothing towards the end of the film, so once it's over, it's over. But there is quite a bit of a cliffhanger, like I had mentioned before I'd seen the movie, just based on the news. So watch it, give Zach some praise, and hopefully he gets what he deserved, and he gets to finish out what he planned on doing for the next two movies, hopefully. So Justice League, the Zack Snyder version on HBO Max.
Me and my girlfriend have been watching Big Bang Theory. We finally finished it on HBO Max. So we thought we might take a break from Kelly Kuko, but we ended up watching Flight Attendant. We're like 4 episodes in, and I wasn't like thrilled about watching it at first. Great fucking show. It's fun. It's a new twist on a whodunit, and she's great in it. So I definitely say watch The Flight Attendant on HBO Max.
It's okay.
Recommendation really from Natalie, not from me, but I'm stealing it. Last night was the series finale, 1 hour long series finale of Superstore. So there's been 6 seasons. It's all on Hulu. It's a great sitcom about people working like in a superstore, like a Walmart. Great characters in it. They do random shots of like weird ass customers. So if anyone's in customer service, I think those little spots of just customers doing random shit will just make you laugh for no reason out loud. Just has nothing to do with the show. Has nothing to do with the episode, nothing important, and you'll just start laughing. It's a great show. It's a fun show. It's half hour long. Like I said, you got 6 seasons. The whole season 6 is based now, so it's all dealing with COVID. Them wearing masks the majority of the episode. Them having to stay away from each other, washing their hands, working in a store for drive up, pickup. It's just really clever, and the fact that they stayed so close to such a current event is really awesome, and that they didn't just blow it over or ignored it like some other TV shows. Really, this will go down in history in American television as something to watch because it shows what happened.
I have 2. My first one, well, it's I guess a bit of a double feature. I would recommend watching them back to back because they're more effective like that. But on Netflix right now, Creep 1 and 2 with Mark Duplass. If you guys like him, so good. Found footage film. It's hard to really get into it without spoiling too much, but it's in, it's kind of a thriller, like horror film, or both of them are. Pretty unnerving stuff, and they're able to accomplish a lot with a little, if that makes sense. I feel like it's a kind of like, there's no paranormal stuff in the film, but it's in the vein of Paranormal Activity, but I like these a lot better, if that makes sense to anybody out there. Creep 1 and 2 on Netflix right now. Very, very good stuff. They're only about an hour and 20 minutes, if that, so you can watch them back to back really fast and very effective. And they have high ratings on Rotten Tomatoes, which is pretty cool, because Rotten Tomatoes can be rude sometimes,
Yeah. Or extremely nice to Basket Case. So, yeah.
Oh, Basket. Basket Case is still relevant now, because I just saw somebody, record label released for the very first time in any format. They released a Basket Case score on vinyl, and it's never been released in any other way. So that's pretty wild. That's just for you, Chris.
No, actually, that stuff's made just for you. Okay. But yeah.
And then my second one, hopping on the train with James. I actually watched Zack Snyder's Justice League midnight when it came out that same day. I think it was a Thursday. I watched as much as I could of it that night, and it was beautiful. Definitely hit my expectations out of the park. It makes the theatrical cut look like a joke. I saw
your post.
I didn't mind the aspect ratio. The stuff that they answer in it makes the film so much more enjoyable. The big thing that I loved is that I didn't know that it was going to be rated R. So when I was seeing all the like hyper violence in it, it like blew me away, and it was almost like DC had finally done something on the tier of Guardians of the Galaxy. Even in the way that it was shot, Zach's visual style, it was just a great time, a fun movie and a serious movie at the same time. They just hit on all cylinders, had a great time with it. It doesn't feel like 4 hours whatsoever. I'm excited to watch the chromatic edition whenever that comes out. I would even, and I'm sure James is on board with me, I would even put money into doing a screening of that whenever everybody's vaccinated and we're more comfortable doing that. That would be something that I would be willing to invest in if anybody's interested out there.
Wes, don't fucking tease me, okay? Get me all riled up. Alright? I'm gonna have to go do some things now, okay? Get me all excited.
Yeah, I get that, man. When they dropped the fucks in it, 2 times, one in particular, I was like, yes, more. I just loved it.
Oh yeah, and I have to, because we haven't really touched on it, but I didn't have a problem with Jared's Joker whatsoever. I thought they kind of re-envisioned him in a great way, and he was a good character, you know what I mean? Even if it was,
I loved his laugh.
Yeah, even if it was just in that nightmare, like whatever, it was alternate Suicide Squad, whatever you want to call it, but that was great.
Yeah.
Did you know? Sorry, they didn't shoot that together. They were there. They didn't shoot Batman and Joker. Were not there together.
Oh,
I didn't catch it.
So they did.
I read it later on, but like the second time I watched the movie, my girlfriend's boyfriend. That's me. My girlfriend's brother was watching it, and so when that part came on, I stopped doing my homework and I went over there. I gotta watch this part again. And I was watching it, and there's not one scene, not one wide shot of both of them together. I'm like, holy fuck, they didn't shoot this together. And then literally 2 hours later, an article pops up that they weren't on set together at all. I'm like, that just shows how fucking great both those motherfuckers are.
Yeah.
One of them did it without knowing how the other one was playing it. The other one got to see the other person, obviously, whoever did it first, and then played off of that. But both of them, both Oscar winners, fucking fantastic. One has 2, just saying. Not for just saying. One has 2, one has 1. You know, whatever. Just saying.
So they did. They pulled a Sin City because I think a large amount of scenes in Sin City were shot like that, where they had a stand-in and somebody would just be acting off of someone else.
Yeah. I mean, like it's awesome. When I was just rewatching that one scene, I'm like, holy fuck. Because the first time I watched it, I was just drooling, and then the second time, I'm like, really, now I'm trying to analyze. Like, this is so great. Yeah. No, it's good rec.
Watch it if you guys haven't seen it out there yet. Do the free trial of HBO Max or do what you got to do and check it out. I think the hard copy I'm not sure if it's through Best Buy, but they're doing the exclusive Steelbook, and that artwork looks great as well.
Ooh, I hope the Steelbook looks a lot like Steppenwolf, who looked badass.
Yeah, Steppenwolf was a great villain.
Great. Oh man, so much better! Like in this version.
I like
everything.
All the memes they have how Darkseid's just ignoring his phone calls. There's a Pulp Fiction one that's great. Moving on.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And now for the movie focus of the week.
All right, so our movie focus of the week is KINGSMAN: The Secret Service from our boy James. It's rated R. It's an action comedy. It runs at 2 hours even, and it got a 74 on Rotten. It was written by Matthew Vaughn and Jane Goldman, directed by Matthew Vaughn, starring Colin Firth, Samuel L. Jackson, Mark Strong, Taron Egerton, and Michael Caine. The film follows Eggsy, a young man on the wrong side of the law who finds out his late father was a part of a secret spy organization. Eggsy is then offered a spot by Agent Galad, assuming he can pass the relentless testing procedures. All the while, an anti-violence tech is hatching a plot to control the world. The first installment in the KINGSMAN franchise is based upon a graphic novel by Mark Millar and David Gibbons. The film's inception came to be when Millar and Vaughn were at a bar and began discussing how espionage films today, or through the years, have become very serious, which ultimately led Vaughn to giving up the director's chair for X-Men Days of Future Past. KINGSMAN pushes the envelope in every way it knows how, with its sleek and sophisticated dapper fashion sense, over-the-top but still excellent, polished, violent fight sequences, very likable characters, and a light-hearted feel that fools you into thinking it could be PG-13. So, James, let everybody know why you wanted to dive a little deeper into this. I know you and I are pretty big fans of this franchise, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, yes. I picked this one. I actually wanted to do both, but I felt like that was kind of a heavy order to do both of them at the same time. So I'm thinking somewhere down the line we'll do a second one with the sequel. But the first one, for me, when I first saw this, I felt like this was really a type of movie I hadn't really seen before. I had mentioned to you before that it's like James Bond. If James Bond and Crank had a baby, this would be their offspring. I had never really seen a movie like this. The action in this, I felt like was top tier action. The sequences, the fight scenes, the choreography. I'd say this is either on par with John Wick in terms of action stuff, or maybe a little even better. I don't know. That's pretty bold for me to say that, saying and hearing it coming out of my mouth now, but I think it's justified. If you haven't seen this, I recommend watching it for the fight scenes alone. The cast in this was amazing. I think this was Egerton's or Taron. Is it Taron?
Taron, I believe.
Taron. Yeah, I think this was his first film.
Yes,
I want to say
he had another one come out first, but this was filmed before anything. So this was his technically